Hi, Ellie. Thank you. I'd just like to once again reiterate how much we appreciate George and Doc who are back here. For everything that they taught us. I don't know about you, but seeing this movie kind of taught me a little bit about being a man, about being a grown-up, and about being a parent, and about being a husband, and I appreciate the both of you very much. I guess before Angela comes down, is there anything anyone would like to ask about the movie now? Yes, right there.
Why was Crystal in prison?
Oh, that's a Sean and Angela question. But so far as I know it, she did things that earned a prison sentence, and then her family kept her there. But I don't want to get too into that because I don't actually know. Anything else that I can answer? There they are. So the first question, let's see.
I know you have your phones. Will you please, before we answer any other questions, we were literally waiting out there. We're like, is it done yet? Can you please tell at least 3 friends to come see this movie? Please, honestly. Like, hashtag HeartBabyTheMovie. HeartBabyTheMovie.com is the website. And please, can I have my people up here? Hello, the real Dr. George. Can you get your ass up there? I don't understand why it's taking so long. And we have so many cast members. We have 1020. We got stabbed for sure. And we have Brandon, the inmate-friendly officer here. We have PJ Marshall, Cockeye Johnson. We have little Bryce, little Sam,
George.
and the George. Woo!
This is Doc. Alright, well, there's many things to say, but you can't ask a question until you tell at least 3 people to come see this video. So does somebody want to start? Or
So the first question, from what I
was, why was Crystal in jail?
Yes, what was Crystal in jail for?
her family created drug charges that put her away.
To get rid of her. And it wasn't just her. She had a cousin. There was a cousin, so it was like, it's in your gene pool, people. It's a very, very, very wealthy family. And, and Crystal was erased by her family, and this is Transgender Awareness Week. It just happened. We didn't even know that. Yeah, it's trans.
Yeah.
And Transgender Awareness Day is on the 20th, and we have a big reveal happening on that day. But I'm going to tell you right now because I'm standing here. HeartBabyTheMovie.com/Crystal is the song. So it's all her story on the song. You get her song that's unaltered. It's literally, yes, she sings out of tune, and who fucking cares? She's so beautiful. I'm so in love with her, and please get it as a statement. There's a whole thing of why to get this and share it with somebody you love. You can get if you don't have any money, you can have it for free. It's literally like it's available. The whole point is do it as a freaking statement of swallow. Breathe, swallow, and breathe. I learned that from an acting teacher. Swallow and breathe. So it's as a statement that you remember her, and she will not be erased in these times when they're being erased. And she was raised by her family, and we remember her. That's right.
Enraged by me.
Erased by men. By men. And you? What do you mean?
She was there with me. I was there.
Oh, race with you. I was there, he says.
Anybody have
Yes.
another question?
There's no picture of her because her family, when I say they erased her, it is literally true. They erased her. And when you know that they have that level of money, you can have it happen. Doc told me her
Like billions of
prison
dollars.
name
Billions.
was, yeah, they're billionaires. You might as well be talking about the Rockefellers, right? And so, she was, Donnie Webb was her prison name. Oh, you're just like, no. Like, what you do? Donnie Webb was her prison name, and he told me about that. And I searched it. I found the number, and then after the movie was done and we were about to come out, I went back to the prison place where you search for the prisoner, and it's gone.
Wow.
I'm like, woo! And so like, no, like, yeah.
A lot of prisons, you can come into their system and you can be given a new name, and people won't even know your history. When you come in, I'll give you an example. Let's say somebody's notorious in the federal system, and the federal system just can't deal with them anymore in that little environment that they got them in. They can move them to another place under another name. The same thing in the state. In Crystal's case, when she came to prison, she came in under another name more to protect her from people going after her for her money than anything else. Because let's face it, if you are a Rockefeller and you go to state prison and everybody knows you're a Rockefeller, you're gonna have people at you 24/7, so it's not a safe environment for you. So the state gave her a different name. As far as her struggle with her family, I know that led her towards drugs, mainly Teas and Blues, which is like in prison, Teas and Blues. They experimented years ago, before y'all ever heard of oxycodone. They were using it in prisons just to see how it worked on people. So it had a crazy effect on people. And she couldn't shake that. Guess that's, unless anybody's got something else. Yes, ma'am.
How much time was she given?
Crystal, I think originally something like 25 years. See, what happened, she got caught with a carload of dope that really wasn't even hers, I mean, she said that, I believe it, I don't believe it was her. Her family could have gotten her out of it if they wanted to. Obviously, they didn't want to. They could have got
I
her
just
out.
heard a.
I mean, really, money talks.
Angela?
Yes.
Something out if I cry.
Swallow and breathe.
George, for being such an example of love. It's very, very powerful. And I want to know, for both of you, how you experience going through this. 'Cause I've seen this 5 times. Every time I'm very moved and touched. How do you handle going through this and seeing the thing and watching a movie and reliving it, and the example that you have been to now, so many of us and so many people who will see this?
It bring memory back to me too. I'm the same way, but it bring memory back to me. And a lot of time I don't want to watch it, but then I watch it anyway, So I used to have a prison. We have what they give you, like money for your money wise, quarters and nickels and stuff like that. I used to have that to remind me, but I don't know what happened to it.
He's talking about prison script.
Yes.
Prison had its own type of money. You had greenback money, which was money y'all
Contraband
used.
to us.
Contraband to us, but we had it anyway. And we also had these pieces of tin, and it represented dimes, quarters.
Don't take no wooden nickel.
Right. And then we had a thing called a wagon wheel, which was a $25 piece. So, I mean, prison is like a world unto itself. It's got its own currency, its own set of rules. But I hope y'all caught in here that there does come a time when someone can have an awakening where they realize that they're more than an animal, and they don't have to act as an animal, they can act as a human being. And so, I hope that can, yes, ma'am?
First of all, beautiful, beautiful film, Angela, and Sean, beautiful performance, just so touching. For George and Andy, was that unique to that prison, those Friday night fights and all the socializing?
All I can speak to is Tennessee. That's where I did my 27 years. So in Tennessee, back in the 70s and 80s, buses constantly ran between the prisons. At that time, you had four major prisons. And so competition was big in that state. They had softball teams, basketball teams, football teams, boxing teams.
Your band.
My band. I mean, I played at a county fair shackled, and playing up there and, just, for hot dogs and the occasional beer, case or two, whatever. But, but that's how prison was back then. And the ideal was to kind of have a rehabilitation, have people feel more humane and human and all that. But there was a juxtapose going on at the same time. And so the juxtapose was that, you had more freedom and you were allowed to express that freedom. At the same time, you had a breed of guard that was brutal and would turn people against each other. And in prison, there's nowhere to run and nowhere to hide. So,
Well, just the synchronicity that Tennessee would have those fights, and then you have George, who just flourishes in that. I mean, that's just incredible.
oh, he was great.
Yeah.
A crazy little factoid that we couldn't fit in the movie because it's like a mini series is that Tate actually, when he pretty much ruined his career, not only was the Larry Holmes fight canceled in 1984, in April 1984, but Tate's career kind of just went downwards, and he ended up getting into drugs, and he got arrested himself, and ended up getting put into prison with George. And in like 1991 he got arrested, and he got to see, they talked about the fight, and he got to see George walk free. It's crazy. And Crystal was
Home.
what's that?
That was home. You don't never let nobody come in your home and whoop you, Because I was in there, I was there, so I was still at my home. Don't let nobody come in my house and whoop me.
The sad thing about John Tate, he turned into a Christian himself while he was inside, and he became a strong Christian. But like a lot of people know, the drugs can sometimes be stronger than a person's faith. And when he got out, he just couldn't handle not living a life without drugs, and he got real high and wrapped his car around a pole and killed himself. But it's sad. I mean, life is sad. One thing I would like to ask y'all to kind of think about and send some positive energy to George's way. George had a brain tumor, and they got it. They got it. He's strong.
I'm telling you, that's for real. I told him I'm just like rock and roll. I'm here to stay.
He is. He's strong as a bull, man. And I tell you what, it just, to me, it blew my mind to get to see him again. I literally thought he was gone, man. I thought he died.
Oh my God, when we found out he was alive, I got to see them reunited. It was like seeing two 12-year-old little knuckleheads. Like, to be reunited was one of the most beautiful experiences. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so glad that you're alive. Do I have to kill you? Because we're making a movie. Are you
And you're
okay with
dead.
that? You thought you were dead. Are you okay with that? And I have to give a shout out to Rita because the woman that I was most scared of is his wife, Rita, and she actually watched the movie 17 times, and she called me and she goes, you know, I watched it 17 times. It explains my husband to me so much more. It explains his time inside. It's actually made our relationship better. And all I can say is thank you.
Yeah.
She goes, I'm glad that bitch is dead.
Oh my God.
She did say, I was like, you better be quiet. She's going to haunt
Jealous
you.
women, I'm telling you.
She will haunt you.
Jealous women.
Angela, will the family see this movie?
I hope so.
If it has anything to do with this man right here, yes.
And did Sean deliver the copy?
Sean is going to deliver a copy, yes.
The music be pretty strong throughout the movie, and I'm just curious, are there any additional recordings of like any of the performances you guys did, and it seemed like there was a recording of her.
Crystal?
Yeah.
There is a soundtrack coming. It's actually should be live now. So the soundtrack of all the, and he's got some bonus tracks of songs that he created also, and then the unaltered song for Crystal is available on the other side. There's the auto-tuned one. Is the reason we auto-tuned it the first time is because you don't know that it's her, and so it would be weird if you heard something out of tune. But once you know it's her, that is what you want. I mean, that's hello. And so anyway, we could go into ages about that. But it's available. The soundtrack and the score. The score is amazing. I thought my personal favorite, that I call it my rainbow glitter waltz, is the one where he kisses her and he hits the slow motion of him walking in. I love that scene so much. And Banga can't be here. He just texted me. He's on a Broadway show right now. And so he sends his love, and
So go see it.
yeah, it's great. I'm actually seeing it on Monday. He's so super behind this, and I wanted to give a shout out to him, saying like, he said when he was cast for this, because I went through a lot of agony trying to find George, literally. We found him. Look at that. And when we were working with Banga, in the black community, like being gay is like, well, it's intense. And I talked to a lot of actors, and they're like, one particular guy that I really wanted, he's like, my mama ain't gonna let me do that part. And I'm like, damn it. And Banga said, he goes, you know what? He's Nigerian, which is a whole nother level of not being able to do it. And he goes, you know what? I'm an honor to the story, and I was like, do you have a problem? I mean, you have to actually kiss. And he's like, I'm in service to the story. So I was like, you're hired. And so, thank him.
Yes. Angela, did this story inspire you to get back into movie making?
Oh, what a question. Did the story, well, yes. To get back, I am, yes, I am,
Please don't stop.
Yes. Yes.
I have another one coming out in the spring. It's called The Eagle and the Albatross. It's like awesome. Yes, it did. I had been doing a documentary forever. I was a writer and director, and then I did my documentary, and you can see that if you could fall down the rabbit hole if you go to angelashelton.com. Good luck. Sorry, people. I apologize. But you can fall down the rabbit hole if you go there. And I stopped my life for ages, for 10 years, going on the circuit speaking about rape and incest and domestic violence, and I have this whole like kind of funny show that I do that was all about stop raping kids, go fuck yourself. And I was doing that show. That's how I met Andy. I was with Jeff Pulver right over there. He has the 140 conference, and he asked me to come speak, and I was sharing healing techniques to get over traumas like that. And he was talking about prison reform, and Gio. There's Gio. He said, Wonder Woman, that's what he calls me. He's like, Wonder Woman, you need to meet this fabulous man. And we met, and we became instant friends. And then later on in the year, I was at his house with my husband and his wife, And we were up hearing his prison stories, because when you sit around with Andy and drink wine, you're gonna totally hear a lot of prison stories. And there's like, and we have a TV show, actually, email me about it. We were up drinking wine, and he told me this story about George and Crystal, and I was bawling, and I'm like, oh my God, that is a movie? That is a movie! And he goes, it is, Angie, it is, but only you could do it. I'm like, I will so do that. He goes, I know you will. And I was like, can you sign this? Because I will do it. And I did, and then that's how it all started. We were in, this was February 2015. I started writing. We were in pre-production November 2015, and then we can't find his death certificate for the E&O insurance, and so we hired a private eye to help us, because I'm doing 400 other things. I don't have time for that. She can't find the death certificate either. She finds him, and we're like, what? I'm like, do I have to kill you? Can you sign this?
Yeah, and that's a funny story. May I real quick?
Yes, please. So funny.
The private investigator, female, she thought she was pretty certain that she had found George, and she said, well, look, I'm gonna mic myself up, and I'm gonna go up to the door, knock, and talk to him, and we'll just fill it out, and you can listen, and we'll see if that's George. And I said, hey, that's a great idea. So she goes up, and I hear her knock, and somebody opens the door, and says, are you George Lee Martin? I go, yeah. She said, did you box in prison? She said, a little bit. She said, do you know Andy Dixon? No, never heard of him. And she goes, oh, okay. Do you mind if I get your phone number in case I need to reach out and talk to you later about this round room production thing? He goes, no, I don't mind. Put it on. And then she leaves. She comes back to the car. She said, I'm not really sure if that's him or not. I said, that's him. And so I call him up on the phone. He answers the phone. I say, hey, George. I said, who's this? I said, George, it's Andy. Man, you better get out of Tennessee. The feds are here looking. First words in over 20 years.
Shelley, can you talk a little bit about preparing for the role?
Preparing for the role, what I did for that. Thank you for that question. Well, for me, being a cisgender man, the only way that I knew to honor her and the trans community was to live the life. And I've never really done method acting before, as they would describe it. But it started off very simple. Started by growing my hair and nails, because that's all I knew from my very limited scope. I interviewed my trans friends, watched a lot of documentaries to try to understand the intellectual part of it. And then I started working with Larry Moss. Larry Moss is a master teacher. He worked with Hilary Swank for Boys Don't Cry, $1 Million Baby. So I knew I was in good hands. And he held my hand as we went down a really, really intense rabbit hole. And I never realized just how tilted the world was against a female experience. You know, being a privileged white man, we have no concept of it because we grow up in it. We're privileged by it, right? And so when you start to be judged just solely off of your appearance because you're feminine, or you're not expressing the way that a man is supposed to express, it started really messing with me. And as it continued and moved to New Orleans, I was living by myself in the French Quarter. Was in the process of losing close to 30 pounds at the time it was all said and done. Got eyelash extensions, hair extensions. I cosmetically altered my face. Because I wanted to really respect her and honor her. And that was when I started to experience the degradation discrimination, the objectification, the harassment, the physical assault on a near daily basis. And it got so bad that I had to create another persona, which was this kind of like rocker dude. Put a bandana on, gloves over my hands, and people were like, Axl Rose, yeah, man, like cool. And that was like my way of hiding, because I would get kicked out of places. I had a stalker at one point who was waiting outside my house when the van would drop me off. I had two guys follow me down the street. And because I wouldn't give them attention, they called me a fucking bitch and a whore. And they followed me. And I thought, this is it. And that was enough preparation. So, when it comes to then stepping off the set, there's no acting anymore. Because I was so far in it, and she was me, and I was her, that I couldn't even look in the mirror anymore. I couldn't look at my own genitalia because it didn't feel right. It felt very unsafe. And that's what the trans experience is on a day-to-day basis. And that's what the female experience is on a day-to-day basis for every man in this room. You don't understand what your mother, your sister, your grandmother, your aunts, your friend goes through every day, because the world is tilted against them. And it is up to us to stand up and make a change, because every woman deserves the right, whether they're trans or whatever, to be treated with equal.
So, when George left, why didn't they pull the contact? Did they talk to each other when you got the
Well, communication back in those days wasn't like today. Today you got cell phones, and almost 1 in 5 guys inside has a cell phone, right? Well, back then, the only way you could make a phone call was once a month. They'd set a table up at the end of the cell block, and they'd have a little dial phone there, and you had 5 minutes to call somebody. If you couldn't get somebody in 5 minutes, it was over with. And I knew that when George went out, he went to a transition house. I didn't know where that was, the number or anything else. When George left, it was like George died, because that was it. You know, he got out. Where he went to die is where he went to die. I just, I figured my friend was gone, so.
I'm curious about the laws just in the last couple of days, the mandatory minimums. It's crazy to think that you would be sent away for so long. And there are a lot of just thousands and thousands of men that are away for crazy amounts of time because of these mandatory minimums. This film is quite inspirational to be shown now about the craziness of the system.
So you're gonna share it and hashtag Harvey?
5 people.
At least 5 people or 10 people?
Of course.
I'm not even joking about that,
Yeah,
like,
no.
we really do need you, there is no marketing budget, none. This is 100% you, like, if you like this film, no pressure. But, I mean, you have to literally help share it. I mean, if you think it's important, if you think the prison reform, the trans movement, brotherhood, for me, the real word is loyalty. Like, who are you loyal to? There's loyalty on every single level, and I'm loyal to these guys.
I want to just say one last thing. I was curious, what was your life when you were younger that kind of led you into crime? What was the environment around you? Was it?
Be careful what you ask.
I got convicted the first time for nothing, for stealing a pocketbook.
Really?
I never stole a pocketbook in my life.
Oh, wow.
And then the next time I got out, then I started doing something. If I say I'm gonna go for something, I'm going for something this time. The 2 women that had me there, I ended up whooping them, jumping on them, and went back, started robbing, and strong arm robbery, you know, with golf club or something like that there. And, you know, that's what I was doing, so. That's what kept me in. A lot of time that when I was going in for what somebody say I did, and I didn't do it. And a lot of time when I said I don't, you know, I always tell people I said I'm free now. What's the use of lying, you know? But I don't. Every time I went in for something I didn't do. The thing that I did do, I didn't go in. But
Now, wait,
things
what's
that I
that?
did.
Jumping on women? You didn't do that. What are you talking about? That's a term.
I did that. That was young. I was still young then.
He's what he's talking about is when he was,
At the
It's a
when he was
Still young
14.
then, when I was, you know, I jumped 'cause I got locked up for indefinite time. And I got out, you know, 'cause they said, and I asked Jim, they said the principal told them to say that. And that's why I got locked up for, 'cause he told me.
The principal told
And jumping off is a term, it
Yeah,
doesn't really
yeah,
mean what it means.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm like, I wanted you to say like that, just that he's not mean, translate, that does
But
not mean.
I
what
met
it sounds like
George
it
when
means.
George was 13 years old. He came to reform school. At that time, I was like 17, and he was 13. He come to reform school. But for myself, I was raised in a crime family. My grandfather, my uncles, my dad, everybody I knew went to prison. And so when I grew up in that environment. And all my people,
Please speak in the mic.
all my people were involved in something called Dixieland Mafia. You probably hadn't heard of it, but it's something that runs throughout the South. And so I was raised in that environment.
Wow.
Going to reform school and prison, that was like 4-year program and a graduate program.
I love you.
What did your teacher say to you?
Pass.
That's funny.
I think,
I feel like you hover, I feel like we're.
I'm
we
hovering
must be like-
because
have another
we are
screening.
kind of out of time.
We're at a
There's another
screening.
movie, the movie has to play again.
Why don't we
And
go
then,
outside?
But all of